Hey everyone, before I get started, I just want to remind you that if you like my content, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then join the Militiaman and Crew Patreon community by clicking the link in the caption. Hey, good afternoon everybody. It's Saturday, it's a summer day, and it's a warm one. So I hope everybody's doing good. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on where we are. It looks like many things have been happening with the government of Iraq, the Prime Minister, little bits and pieces from the central bank about certain things, but one of the things they're focusing on has been a celebration, and that celebration has been ongoing throughout the day, and it's over as we speak because it's nighttime there. But the fascinating thing I want to bring up is that this morning I woke up to Halabusi was talking to the leaders of the country in a lot of respects, the politicians, etc. It says for them to run away before your arrest on corruption charges. So it's like the Speaker of the House of Representatives is telling the people that, hey, those of you that are corrupt, you better start running. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. Probably not a very smart move on the Speaker's part, but hey, sounds like that man, if he's got corruption on his hands, he'll probably have immunity. So maybe he's not too worried about it. But anyway, that was fascinating. Realize that the whole plan for, and some of these items that al-Sudani is facing from pressure from the outside, internally, internationally, globally, USA, all that, was those three items are being addressed, and we're going to probably see that those items don't have to be completely finished, but they have to be in the progress for this to come to fruition, and which I believe is happening as we speak. So ultimately, that there's been 46 arrests, 50 arrests, so that's about 100, real close, 96 to be fair. Those all took place, and so interestingly enough, those 46 and 50 different arrests probably have some influence on why Halabusi has suggested that these guys take off and start running through the Kurdistan region. So anyway, that's fascinating. The president of the country, Rashid, and al-Sudani, the prime minister, today they talked about the Eid al-Ghadir, I guess it's pronounced. It's a celebration, it's a time of giving. And so they were congratulatory. There's some history on it. You guys can Google that and find out what that all means. But what they're saying is that they've overcome many different difficulties, and they have a national unity. The country is united. And today they're focusing on facing historical circumstances, okay, that helps building and progress. And it's thanks to the fact or the blessing of that they have security and safety in the country. That's what the international world wants. They want to see Iraq to be unified, and they want to see that they have security and stability. And the main focus they have is that the Iraqi people deserve more than just construction, more than just services, but most of all, the country needs to work on combating the corruption. And we're seeing evidence of that in so many different ways, from the borders to catching those that have been breaking the law when it comes to foreign exchange, when it comes to selling the dollar, all of those things. So the head of the Supreme Council today called for working on a principle of reward and punishment and selecting those public office officials and holding them accountable. So basically the celebration today, it's ended, and that they're in some historical circumstances. So if they're in historical circumstances, that means they're gearing to me, it means they're gearing to go to a market economy, and that's going to require them to have an international acceptable exchange rate. So we're going to have to see how that plays out. There's more to the story to see. Prime Minister Mohammed Sudani today on Saturday during those celebrations, he basically is stating it was a new beginning. So a new beginning to me means that out with the old, in with the new, and basically it's going to reflect the values in the light of our work, which they've been working on, and also have accountability for the responsibility of their performance. So we're seeing that very, excuse me, in our study here today. The Ministry of Commerce instructed the ministerial staff to work for 2 meals, as they put it, morning and evening. So this particular circumstance is the Ministry of Commerce, the Ministry of Trade is telling the cadres, the departments and companies, private sector, government, work overtime because we have things changing. The implementation of the Prime Minister's directives of the Councils of Ministry directed the staff to work through the week. So they're basically telling them, hey, you guys are working overtime. We're here to help the citizens. So get busy and be prepared because it sounds like the money is about to flow. Let's see how that turns out, okay? And then again here, the Integrity Commission, we're talking back again about the corruption. It says the Integrity Commission, the head of the Financial and Supervision Bureau, the head of the Public Prosecution, head of Judicial Supervision, Director General of the Legal Department in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Director General of the Legal Department in the Ministry of Justice, and the Director of the Police Directorate, Arab and International Interpol, and advisor to the Prime Minister on Anti-Corruption Affairs, all got together, had meetings. So it sounds like they mean business about this corruption aspect of it. It is one of those 1 to 3 items that the DOD talked about that needed to be done, or at least to be addressed and being accounted for. So it really goes back to that, they're recalling that there are international agreements that bind Iraq with a number of countries in the world, and there are obligations that are in cooperation to implement the law and restore rights. So binding, key word in that. He comes down, al-Sudani is talking to people about this too, is that, quote, all extradition files for the fugitives wanted to be implemented and demanded that a careful follow-up process be conducted for each specific file. And he's stressing that the serious pursuit of the accused prompted many of them to surrender to justice, and the Interpol department also prepared files ready for the wanted. So they've already engaged, ready to go. 46, the 50. You got to realize that it's almost like the songbirds. They're going to start singing to make deals. And so it just goes up the ladder. And the higher it goes and the faster it goes, the better. Is it going to happen overnight? Of course not. But basically, that's one of the prerogatives that they've been set out in items 1, 2, and 3 that we talked about on my last video. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you click back and watch that one because it's a good one. It'll give you an idea where we are. So the next thing is that the Sudani reveals that there's changes coming to the state institutions. We're talking about corruption again. It says the ongoing security changes in Baghdad and some provinces are the beginning of the security and administrative reform process that the Prime Minister promised since the beginning of the reform of the government. I believe that this was probably item number 1. Number 2. There was number 1, 2, and 3. I think this is the security part about making sure that some of these militias are contained, put underneath the proper guidance, whether it's the police and or the military, so that the country being unified. So they basically want everything to be in harmony with that government program. The government program is what you and I and everybody have been here for so many years waiting for to be completed, and we can move on into the future, into that new beginning that they're about to experience. So let's see if this happens like we were hoping, okay? Here another thing is one of the items, and this may be actually item number 1, regardless of the order, but serious steps to reduce currency smuggling. The Iraqi central bank has many measures, many packages, as they put it, in place and have been in place to actually curb the illegal parallel market that everybody seems to talk about. The bottom line is if they adjust their exchange rate to be and exceed the US dollar, that's pretty much going to go away. One of the things I didn't go over today, but you might pay attention to, is that Iran is talking about circumventing using the dollar, which they've been after all this time, but now they want to use the dinar. So there's obviously something's going on. They know that there's something changing is about to come, and obviously they want to be a part of that because they are definitely one of the largest trading partners for Iraq. But it says their efforts are made by the central bank in controlling foreign trade through monetary policy measures as a result of local and international requirements. Okay, and the government's effort to help achieve this with the cooperation in all to support the Iraqi dinar. So the central bank, through monetary policies and international requirements, they're doing what they need to do to help cooperate to support the Iraqi dinar. The Iraqi dinar at 1310 is not going to be an internationally acceptable exchange rate, in our opinion, in my opinion, and probably in your opinion too, by all this information that we've been giving you. The straight news from them around the world. So, you know what, Saturday afternoon, I hope you guys all enjoyed that. If you like my channel, please subscribe. And if you want to keep us going, help donate, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Once again, guys, don't forget to hit that like button if you like this content. Subscribe to the channel or join us at the Militia Man and Crew Patreon community for even more exclusive content. You can also donate to this channel by hitting the links in the banner to help keep this page up and running. Your generous support is greatly appreciated, as always. Much, much appreciated. Thank you so much and have a great day.